Well, that's Kansas as well. How you doing, Larry? I'm good. And the other Larry back there? I got two Larry. Yeah, we used to have four Larry.
Okay, 6:45 Friday morning. How's everybody? Doing well? Ready for the cold today? Yeah, that's good. That's supposed to warm up actually, which is good. Good stretch of weather coming. So this week's code of conduct is drive safely, defensively, and courteously. So it's really important out there to remember your following distance and just, we got logos all over our vehicles. So just really take the time, drive safe, be courteous out there on the roadway, traveling to and from work, to and from jobs. Something to really think about this week. So our safety news, again, another 7 days without recordables. So our counts at 27, and then our really impressive 829 days without injury case that resulted in days away from work. So that one's still cranking on for a little bit longer. So this week we had a lot of questions regarding the truck and trailer combination. So I thought we'd just it's been a while since we talked about this. So we kind of have a nice little announcements, kind of go over the regulations, and if there's any questions, hopefully we can kind of put those to bed. The Federal Care Motor Vehicle Act is DOT, separate from VOSHA and the Department of Labor, it's Department of Transportation. They have some regulations regarding CDL truck drivers and limits of combination of truck and trailer. So they're really, without trying to really simplify this enough, is any vehicle that's 26,001 pound, you got to have a CDL license. So it's one vehicle if it's 26,001 pound.
Or greater.
Or greater, exactly. The trailer, where the combination kicks in, is when the trailer has a GVW of more than 10,000 pounds. Then you have to add that trailer weight and the truck weight. If those two weights equal 26,001 pound, you need to have a CDL license. We have some trailers here at ECI that have a GVWR greater than 10,000 pounds. I think the VAC is one of them. There might be a couple of RAA 2 trailers. There might be another Corey.
We have one tilt bed rated over 10,000.
There's one tilt bed. I'll probably get the number and maybe announce that next safety meeting. So everybody's aware, and I'm going to show you how to find that information here. But is there any questions regarding the truck and trailer combination? We really got to start at the trailer. Go ahead.
There is a switch from B to A.
I'll have to get back to you on that one. But I believe this right here is. Go ahead, Jesse.
So gross combination, you can have a truck that weighs 11,000 pounds and a trailer that's 14,000 GVW. You're at 25,000 pounds. You're 1,000 pounds under with a 14,000 pound trailer.
Correct. Yes.
But that's saying you can't haul more than a 10,000 pound load.
No. It's GVWR, the gross vehicle weight, what's tagged on.
So if your combined weight can't be more than 26,000, does your registration on the total vehicle have to be 26,000 pounds?
Yes.
So legally, all of us here that lease a vehicle to ECI are not legal.
Well,
No, because your trailers are less than 10,000.
yes, all the trailers. Right.
That our registrations aren't.
No, but it's what it's tagged. The GVWR, what's tagged on the trailer is what you got to add.
Yeah, but
Right.
if you got a mini on, you're close to that 10,000.
No, but you gotta. I'll show you where the tag is.
The trailer, Larry gets them rated at 99, 99 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to add the trailer no matter what.
No matter
but
what.
You don't want to overload it.
But if the weight,
Yeah, exactly.
If your registered weight for your tow vehicle is not at 26,000 pounds, then you can't tow that trailer at its max anyways.
But the regulation is with the.
We're talking about CDL license.
Yes.
Under CDL.
Yes.
So most of us here that don't have a CDL
You don't need one.
We don't need one.
don't need one.
Correct.
But your vehicle's got to be registered for 26,000 pounds in order to pull a 10,000 pound trailer.
Well, that's that.
You have a 16,000 pound truck,
Right.
That's right.
but you don't.
So,
There's the difference between how you register it and then what they're looking for when it comes to this regulations for Federal Care with the DMV officials. It's a kind of completely different thing, and I can get you more information on that, Jesse, if you really want to dig into it.
it's not very clear. That's kind of milky, this.
Well, again, it's regulations are because that's how they're written is they're not perfect, but it's a good guideline to follow. So kind of following that is here's some example of our trailers, and you can kind of see here, and I blow it up here is our tags, where they're located and how you can identify to knowing the GVWR of the trailer. All right. So here it is. Here's the tag of the trailer. Here's the GVWR. Is this right here? 9,900 pounds. So this trailer right here, we do not have to add the weight. Anyone with a regular driving license, a D on their license, it can call this combination. Again, we don't want to haul, the bigger trailers with a small truck because then we're going to do more wear and tear on our vehicles than necessary. And that's what you get with Scott and Larry, and make sure that we have the right combination of truck and trailer. So here's our tags. Bang. You want to look for, if you have any questions, go to the tag or get with anyone. Just ask the question to make sure that you're aware. So again, here's an example. We have a 9,900 trailer with a little mini on it, and then the truck is 16,000 pounds. Do we need a CDL for this?
Yes.
No. Why? Trailers under 10,000. You don't have to add those two weights up according to regulation. Does that make sense?
For a CDL.
Yes, for a CDL.
I
26,000.
pulled that assembly up onto the scale and drove the state trooper. How much weight is sitting there? There we go.
I don't have.
Not for the CDL though. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Not for the CDL. For hauling overweight, that's another problem.
That's
He's talking
the
about
next one.
CDL.
Right.
CDL is only required based on the GVW of the vehicle. Doesn't matter what you're hauling.
What the registration
If
tax is
you
paid.
haul way over
Exactly.
what your weight is, then you can get in trouble for that.
Correct.
But they can't say, oh, you should have had a CDL.
But
Correct.
The combined
Right.
weight is almost 27,000 pounds.
Yeah, but again, the regulation they just talk about the GVWR of the trailer and the weight. You got to separate the two. You're grouping it all into one. You got to separate it.
Even if that
Okay.
truck was 16.5 and you're over 26, you're still good because the trailer's less than 10, right?
Exactly. So I know it's hard to kind of get your head around, but I'm trying to make it simple as possible. Just look at the GVWR of our trailers.
So Matt, all you're talking about is the requirement to have a CDL.
CDL, exactly.
You're not talking about being overloaded.
No, we don't want to get into that stuff because that's case by case, weight by weight. We could be here for hours talking about all the different combinations of pieces of equipment on a trailer. Everyone just wants to know, can I drive this? And the answer is yes, as long as your trailer is under that 10,000 pound GVWR.
So it doesn't matter how heavy your truck is. Your truck and trailer could be over 26, but as long as the trailer's under 10.
Correct. As long as your truck's not over 26,001 GVWR by itself.
But that's only for CDL. That doesn't have
Correct.
to. You can't mix it into being overloaded and stuff. That's a different. You could be overloaded and get in trouble,
Correct.
but they wouldn't hit you on not having.
Yes,
a
exactly.
CDL.
Exactly.
That's what people are getting stuck on.
Right. I'm talking about having a CDL license, not being overloaded, not anything like that. Just your driver operation license.
You are required, however, to make sure that you have a logbook with you. No CDL, or it doesn't matter.
Out of the state, we have 100 air miles from our office. If you're within that 100 air miles,
Trevor and I got fixed on that.
soon as you left the state.
Yeah, we were in that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything after New Hampshire borderline, you better have your DOT card.
Correct.
And your logbook.
When we're getting into more of that hauling stuff, that is correct. And now I was going to talk about that in the next couple of weeks. So it's a good conversation to have. There's a lot of dialogue regarding this week, Chris.
So if your trailer had a GVW of 10,001 pounds,
Yes.
different story, right?
You have to add what
And
if
you
you
have
have
that
that you have to add those weights.
Because
then
it's
you-
10,001
Yes.
versus 999.
Exactly. And then you need a CDL Class A license to haul this truck and trailer combination. So.
Yep.
And I would have to say, if anyone in here or listening wants their CDL license, 2019 is the perfect year to do it. There's going to be changes coming down in the DOT about having an actual classroom requirement. I don't know that length of time, but right now, like, we have resources here where you can kind of do the pre-trip study and learn how to pass the test and getting some seat time. you can get a CDL license a lot quicker in 19 than you will in 2020. And cheaper.
20 is going to require you to have 16 weeks of classroom time.
Is it 16 weeks? Oh man, that's
And it's probably about 7 to 8 grand.
Yeah, so if you're interested, come see us. Get with your supervisor if you're interested in getting a CDL. Definitely worth it, and something that we really hopefully get more and more participation in.
So Matt,
our roster's smaller.
what was this original? Just restate the original topic so we know what the topic is. It's about the requirement to add a trailer for a CDL.
Correct. Well, your license, CDL license. Do you need a CDL license? Yes, you do. If your combination, if the trailer is over 10, GVWR is over 10, you have to add the weight of the truck and trailer. If they're over 26,000, you need to have a CDL license. We had an example last year where we had an employee grab a trailer with the VAC system. That VAC system, I think, is GVWR of 16,000 pounds, and they were towing it with a F550, which I think is 16,000 itself. So that combination was 32,000, and he was driving it with his regular license. So that could be potentially a big citation for that driver himself.
So generally speaking, if these guys are in a 550 or less, and they're not hooking up to a VAC, a tilt deck, or a railroad tool trailer, they're probably fine.
That is correct. But again, check the tag on the trailer if you don't know. Everybody get it? Okay. Moving on. So quick announcements. Hopefully everyone got their W-2s. They were mailed on the 23rd. So look for those in the mail. If you haven't, contact Sarah. I got mine like last Friday. So UTC is the job that we're highlighting this week. UTC Systems is one of the largest suppliers of aerospace and defense products and for gens. They make guided missile systems, control boards, and black boxes for aircrafts and vehicles. So ECI was hired to fill two 10,000-gallon tanks that had been buried below the parking lot in 1992 and used to store water for the building's fire suppression systems. The tanks were abandoned with the installation of a pond and high-pressure pumps that now feed the building. So there was a leaky valve that led UTC to fill the tanks with flowable fill to avoid the collapse, and water line that fed them be replaced. So the tanks were excavated. The fuel inside was tested and once deemed safe, pumped dry and filled with flowable fill. The crew then proceeded to replace 160 linear feet of 8-inch ductile iron pipe. And then we encountered some unmarked conduits, foundation drains, roof leaders, and crossing the excavation. So this is something I think Phil, you were down there, right? Mm-hmm. Phil Forster was down there, his guys. So we got some balmy winter weather. Actually, this is looking like cleaning up. Let's put some seeded mulch down. Some examples here are spool piles. I bet. Here's an like.
We can tie into a lot of existing lines.
Yeah. Some waterline work. Some nice weather. Some real heavy clay down in that part of the state. So then last is just a little photo archives. Looks like this is down in Middlesex, 2013. That was that big washout, I believe. Or it was that failed culvert.
890, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Yeah. So we have one thing Ben Dow wanted to quickly talk about foundation. And
this is the last thing.
This is the last. Yep.
Yeah. So you'll get your first paycheck that came out of foundation today. Well, all of you that got direct deposit won't actually see the check part. You'll see the pay stub portion,
and then it won't be. It's not printed on check stock on the checks that are direct deposit. So everyone did a great job getting all their stuff in this week. I think a lot of the work for us up front, or for the people up front, has been getting everything configured so they could actually execute the payroll properly. And they want us to all look at our pay stub and make sure that all the information is correct. Like if our address is on there, make sure your name and your address and all that stuff is correct. Also, look at every study it and look at it to make sure that everything's correct, because things have been imported and input into the new system, and so now everything's loaded up in order to execute the paychecks every week. The pay stub that we have is, call it the first draft. It's got to be formatted a little bit differently. Some of the column lines are moved, offset just a little bit. But if you look at the heading and then follow down, they're going to work on the formatting. They've got some different options for us for what that actual check stub looks like. Your ATO this week is not on there yet because they're still configuring the system to properly calculate and print out your ATO balance on there. So right now they're doing it. They have it manually. They have it, but they're trying to make sure that they get it properly put in the right place on the pay stub and that it's calculating properly. So you won't see your ATO, but if you call Ursula or Sarah, they can tell you what your balance is. They know it. So it's not that we've omitted it. It's that we have not configured that function to get onto the pay stub. Your pay stub is going to look different, and it's going to be looking better in the coming weeks because that's the first one they printed, and most of the time was spent this week getting it all in there so that it actually calculated and verifying everybody's time so that they all got paid properly. There's a lot of time with that. And of course, when you execute for the first time, anything, you always have, questions. So they've worked really hard up there this week. They worked a lot of hours. They worked this past weekend. So I think they did a great job to make this happen so that you get the paychecks today. If you have any problems reading the information on this first one, I've studied enough so I can help you look at it to figure out what the numbers are. But I just wanted you to know that they're going to be looking different, and it's going to be a little easier to read in the coming weeks as we find a new format to get that to print out so that you guys can read it and get all the information off. I think all the information is on there except for the ATO, except for one other thing. The direct deposit information, the gross amount that went in. Next week, it's going to show if you have two accounts that it goes into, it'll show the actual two accounts split. So if you have a question, if you have two accounts and it's supposed to go into two accounts, check your accounts. But also you can check in with anyone up with Sarah, probably Sarah or Ursula would be the best ones up front. And you can say, hey, I just want to make sure that my direct deposit is working properly. They can tell you because they have the information of where it went and into which accounts. They're going to be configuring that so that shows up on your pay stub next week. So you will see that. I think those are the two questions that some of you will have, because you'll see your net amount and you'll say to yourself, where did it go? It's going to actually say next week. It went direct deposit if you have direct deposit, and it went according to the rules that you gave them, either one account or two accounts. They have that information. It will be on your pay stub next week. So is there any other questions that I might be able to answer on that? Or any other comments, Joe, on this?
Yeah, I think just check, make sure that the pay went right, the hours were right. That was all stuff that was automated through the new system and verified by several people in the process. But make sure that's all right too.
I think they really checked it over this week, so I don't think we're going to have any monetary discrepancies. The only information that's hard to read is that final printout that the system put out for us. So they're going to be working on that probably next week and see if we can improve it for the next check. I'm pretty certain that the next check will at least have the
the direct deposit information displayed. I don't know about the ATO yet because they're still working on getting that to work properly, but your direct deposits will be properly displayed. And then if anybody has a regular check, I don't know what the regular checks look like myself, but check those over really well too. A live check. I think there's probably 4 or 5 of them. So, all right. Any other questions? All right. Good job on that stuff. Everything worked out well, and I think it's only going to get better from here. So, thanks.
Jeff Barber. Michael Bishop.
Oh, yeah.